Good morning. Before we get started, as always, please like and subscribe. Please share my channel. Please comment whether you agree with me or not. I do love hearing from you. I'm starting again in the parking garage because I'm going to take my time getting to work today. I'm actually not even out of the parking space yet. I just want to really take time this morning. I was sick the other day. 2 days ago, I got really sick. My doctor said she didn't think it was viral. I don't have COVID, but man, it wiped me out. Whatever it was, it only lasted one night, but I feel like I'm completely drained. Anyway, so I'm not really myself yet today, but I'm getting back to work. I haven't been posting, but this is one thing that it brings a subject for me to talk about today, because when I got sick, it's almost like everything changed. And I wanted to bring this up because I talk an awful lot about, positive, being one with all, about manifesting, about all the things that are, that bring love and light and good things to our lives. And then you get sick. And it's like, wow. I mean, it's almost like everything changed when my body changed. And one of the things that I've learned in this experience and this whole journey that I've been on, learning about positive thinking and manifesting things, and being, living in the light, and just having, life go, feeling good feelings, and all these things that bring us joy in our lives. One of the things that's repeated that I've learned is not to let the things of the world get to us, not to let the things of the world bring us down or change us. And sometimes that's easier to do than others. Sometimes it's easy to not let life get us down, and sometimes life just hits us and it's like out of the blue. And I have talked before about things that have happened, like with my car, having to get my car fixed. Those are very minor things. There are really tragic things that can happen to somebody that can really ground them, floor them, just shake their entire existence like a snow globe. And when you don't feel well, though, when your body basically gives out on you or rebels, or as sick as I was, and I still I'm not sick right now, but I'm just really exhausted and weak. And that is something anything is hard to fight, to battle, especially, death or tragedies. Those things, it's hard to remain positive when you're not feeling well, when your body is hurting, when, something goes completely wrong, completely haywire, when you have a broken heart. There's so many different circumstances that can happen in this world that can, cause us to basically what I call fall off our horse, fall off the positive horse. And I have to admit that yesterday I decided to stay home and just rest and drink lots of fluids, and I ate for the first time in a couple days, and I just wanted to see how I would do after eating. And it just made me think that my mindset completely changed. And I do mean completely. that sick and feeling that horrible, I noticed that my perky, cheerful, positive attitude was just gone. It was like everything just seemed like a big rainy, cloudy day, like raining on my parade. And today I woke up and it's a windy day. It's like 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts today. You're not. I'm sorry. Stick a big tissue, a big towel in my face. I'm a mess. But today it's getting out on the road, driving for the first day back to work, and the wind's like pushing me around. I just, there are so many opportunities to feel negative. There really are. This life really offers up a lot of opportunities to be negative. And there is definitely a challenge here. There's definitely a challenge, because it's in moments like these where we can take the opportunity that's handed to us to let ourselves become negative and to focus on the negative, or we can fight. And honestly, today feels like a fight. It feels like I have to climb out of a well to get back to my positive mindset. And the reason I wanted to post this is that, for all of the videos that I've done about positive, cheerful, and happy, perky, and, being one with love and one with light and all those things, it kind of didn't take much for me to just tank. And this has happened, I think I did another video where it was like a cloudy day and things where my car was, I had to take my car to the shop and things weren't going well. Tried to get my license and problems were happening. And, there are circumstantial things that can happen, but man, I'm telling you, when your body gives out, and especially when your body is hurting, pain and discomfort and bodily hurt or injury can really cause some damage to your psyche. And so that's really what happened this time. It's not really like some kind of a worldly circumstance. Usually I can, I used to call it bleeping over the bad things in life. I used to just be able to sort of breeze right through things and continue with my positive attitude. But feeling this down and out, like I got run over by a train, is different. So I guess, here in real time, I'm talking about how to pull out of this, how to continue to have gratitude, how to have gratitude when your body is hurting, how to have gratitude when you're sick or when, something. And there are people that, I had a temporary illness. I do have chronic pain, and I do have a lot of things that aren't temporary. So I do understand ongoing chronic things. I've learned to manage those things, and I have learned to deal with life just getting through them and working, through them, around them. With the chronic pain, it doesn't seem like it's so bad because I'm used to it. But this I wasn't used to. And there are diagnoses. There are certain times when people are diagnosed with something. People get diagnosed with cancer. People get diagnosed with life-threatening illnesses. People end up in the hospital for a number of reasons. And when that type of thing happens, what do you do at that point? I'm looking back to a time when I had, years ago, actually almost a couple of decades ago, I had open heart surgery. I had a blood bacteria infection that had me really, really sick. And I was in the hospital, in and out of the hospital for 6 months until they finally had to do open heart surgery because the infection got on my heart valve. That was pretty traumatic. I wasn't even 50 years old yet. And I had kids in middle school. And there were so many things that happened during that summer. But I remember getting through that I was just all cheerful. I was all cheerful and happy throughout the whole ordeal. I don't really know why. Well, actually, I do kind of know why. I mean, that didn't seem as hard to get through because I had a family. I had people there around me. I do have a work family here. I have people who love and care about me. But then again, I wasn't working full time then. I wasn't having to take time off work. I was a stay-at-home mom, so I was able to rest and I was able to take care of myself, and I didn't feel like, oh, I've got to go into the office. I don't want to miss too much time and that kind of thing. I wasn't the only breadwinner in the family, so I didn't feel any kind of stress or pressure to have to be, the only person paying the bills. But I also was on pain medications at that time, and I have to say that pain medications really helped me get through that. But I mean, here right now, I'm not on any kind of pain medications. I'm not on any happy pills. I'm not taking anything that's chemically changing my mindset. I'm very conscious of my mind and my thoughts. And I do believe that changing my mind and my thought, it's a willful act. It's a willful act to decide. I have to decide that life is good. I have to decide that I can't lie to myself and say, oh, I feel great, but I can still feel grateful. I might not feel great, but I can still be grateful. One of the things that I also noticed is that when I was sick and I stayed at home to rest, I was leafing through things. I normally don't get on social media very much because I work all day and then I'm tired at night. I sometimes watch a YouTube video or something and go to sleep, but I was leafing through things that were disturbing, things that were negative, and I was seeing visuals and seeing, like things like negative comments and people fighting over stupid stuff and division and all these things that are going on in this political environment and in our environment. You would think that this would have ended with the election, but it didn't. People are just carrying on the fighting. And I looked at that, and I did notice that when I look at those things, they make me feel worse. It's not that I want to bury my head in the sand and not be informed about what's going on in the world, but I don't want to look at all the fighting. I don't want to look at all the nastiness. I really don't want that to absorb into my being. So that taught me a lesson, not just when I'm not feeling well, but even when I'm feeling well, don't look at that stuff. I can. I mean, maybe some people can look at it and it doesn't affect them. But for me, I tend to absorb things like that. So that was a very good sign for me. It just made me feel worse. So I stopped looking at those things. And before I went to sleep last night, I put on a video that was very uplifting. And I just feel like this is a point where when your life is going well and everything's going great and you're feeling great, it's easy to be positive. It's easy to manifest things. It's easy to feel those feelings of, this is who I am, and this is where I'm headed in life, and this is how my life is great and everything. But in times when it feels like you have to climb uphill to get there, it's definitely a mental struggle. It's definitely something. We have choices. We have options. So it's always like a crossroads, like choice A or choice B. How am I going to think today? How am I going to feel today? I've been in this place before, but not because of sickness, not because of my body was caving in on me. as soon as I round this corner and I get into this parking lot, here I am at the office, and all of a sudden, I know I'm going to be sitting in front of that office door, looking at the office door and saying to you before I leave this video, I'm going to be saying, okay, it's time to get into the office now. And that brings me happiness. I am grateful for my job. Here I am. I made it to work. I drove myself here today. I was able to drive, which I wasn't the other day. But here I am. I'm grateful that I can drive. I'm grateful that I'm up on my feet. I'm grateful that I'm at the office. I'm grateful for these people that I work with. And so I think that we need to find whatever we can find to be grateful for. And I've said this before, even if it's the smallest thing. I was grateful this morning for my cat. I was grateful this morning that I have a nice bathtub that I can take a nice hot bath. There are things that I'm grateful for. And I think that in times like this, it's just a matter of finding even the smallest things. When I get into the office, I'm going to have myself a nice hot cup of tea. I'm going to settle into my desk. I'm going to say hello to all the people who I care about and who I know care about me. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my job. I'm grateful for my apartment, a roof over my head. I'm grateful for the food that I have to eat. And sometimes just the very basics are enough to get you through. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to get through this day because I'm grateful for even just the basics. I don't have to have grand things to be grateful for. I don't have to be, driving a Lamborghini. I don't have to be living in a mansion. I don't have to be traveling the world to be grateful. I can be grateful for a bowl of soup. I can be grateful for the fact that I'm here. I can be grateful for my life. I can be grateful for breath, for just the air that we breathe, just the very bare basics, clean water. In the country that I live in, we have clean water to drink. They don't have that in every country. Not everybody has a roof over their head. So these are just things that I'm thinking about today. I know that I'm like super reflective but coming out of this sickness, I just can't even express how much it had me down. And I was very aware that I was feeling very down because I stopped thinking of my life as being this is my year of wonder. And instead of it being wonder, a life of wonder, all I could think of is this is miserable. And not only was I thinking this is miserable right now, but I started to view my future as miserable. Which, again, I've said this in other videos. The past is gone. The future hasn't happened yet. We only have the now. And how we're feeling, what we're thinking, how we're feeling right now can shape our future. If I feel miserable about myself now and miserable about my life now, no wonder it makes me think that my future is going to be that way, because I could be possibly perpetuating that misery. But if I stop and become aware and say, I don't care how I feel. I don't care how my body feels right now. I don't care what my body's doing. And then just start picking out the things that are good. That's, to me, as far as I know, as far as I've learned so far, that's the key in getting past the things of life, including things that happen to our bodies. So everything is a blessing or a lesson. And I can't say that this sickness was a blessing. But I can say that I'm learning lessons. And so if you have anything to add to that, if you have any experiences with, having things go haywire, being really, really sick and hurting, and having your body just go down and having to get back up, Let me know in the comments how that went for you, what you did. If there's anything that you've done differently, let me know. And thank you so much for being here. I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you next time.